Hello everyone, how are you today? It is that time again, that time of the week, and I'm here. I'm Sharon from the blog I Restore Stuff, as you can see behind me there, ready for another DIY live here on the Essential Stencils page, and I'm so excited for you to join me. Let me know where you're tuning in from as you're joining in the live here so I can see the comments rolling up there. We have a great community of followers and watchers every weekday, so we have five different ambassadors each day of the week to show you a live and to demonstrate how you can use Essential Stencils products. So you know they're not just stencils. We've got transfers, there's wooden signs, like little houses, door tags, wooden tags, little wooden tags, and so on. So, and brushes, of course, we've got Essential Stencil brushes, all of that kind of thing. So, just to remind you today, hello everybody, thank you so much. And Kimberly, thank you so much for sprinkling the love, sharing it here on Facebook. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. Now, don't forget this code here, I Restore Stuff, is the code you can use if you want to order any of the products that we use today or any time on Essential Stencils. If you'd like to use my code, really appreciate that. And it also gets you 10% off anything in Essential Stencils on their website. So, someone's watching from Tennessee, from Pittsburgh, watching from Texas. Hello everybody. If you are here for the very first time and you've never watched a live before, I feel like I've got some kind of filter on today. This screen's looking a little different. I hope I haven't. I didn't mean to if I do. But anyway, let me just find our live here on the laptop so I can see the comments properly running through. There we go. It helps me to view that. Let me see. Expand. We've got Cheryl, Janet, and Lisa watching from Wisconsin. Joyce is here from California. We're from all over the USA. Now, don't forget, this is USA shipping only. So if you are some of my Aussie followers, I am from Australia, if you couldn't already tell by my accent. And here down under, we've not been able to ship the stencils internationally. So, but if you do have friends in the USA, I tell my Aussie friends, get them to post it over to you. Send it to a US shipping address, have them forward it or send it on to you. So there's that. If you have some friends that you know would love this DIY live, here's what I'm going to be doing this on today, then make sure you share and hit that little button and you'll come right back to the live after you've shared it and sprinkled it. Thank you so much, Judy, for sprinkling the love. And of course, guys, don't forget there's prizes. If you're watching the replay, you can comment the word replay within the 24 hours after our live is live. If it's got a little red button up there in the corner, you'll be able to see that it's live. It'll say live. But if not, if you're watching the replay, comment the word replay in the 24 hours after the live for a chance at winning another prize. And if you are watching the live, we're giving away 3 prize winners, some stencils at the end of our live. So join in the conversation because that's where we picked the winners from. All right, now, my friend Renee, who is also an Essential Stencil ambassador, I just saw like minutes before I went live that she did something on one of these cheese boards this week too. I'm not sure if you saw that. She may have done it in the Stencil of the Month Club Facebook group, I'm not sure. But Renee, all I can say is great minds think alike, because here I was planning my live for today. And I'll let you know, this is just an upcycle. I literally found this at a thrift store, picked it up and thought, that looks great. I should use that for stenciling on. And it's actually a Marie Claire cheeseboard. And so it had her initials carved into this. What I'm going to do today is a 2-sided project. So hang with me. I hope you'll enjoy this live. It is a cute board, Shirley. It is. Hi, Sandy. How are you? Thank you so much, Susan, for sprinkling from Black Mountain, North Carolina. So it had her name carved in it, but what I've done is I've used some wood putty, which I took into the garage now. You can probably just see where I've puttied the carving, and then I can just paint over that, and it feels nice and smooth. So hopefully we will not see any evidence that this was a Marie Claire cheese board. Probably was real expensive in its time, I'm guessing. But anyway, and then we're going to use the other side, which is quite smooth, doesn't have any blemishes on the other side. we'll use that side stained, and then we'll paint this side. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is be painting that. So let's point us. I do, Sandy. She says you find the best things at your op shops. Yes, we call them op shops here in Australia. So if you're just joining me, we are doing a fun upcycle today using a cheese board. So what I'm going to do is paint this side, and I'm really proud of how smooth that turned out. So when you're using wood putty, just really press it in tight to all of the grooves and the carved area. You can probably just see what it says on there, and it's got her logo on there. So I pressed it all in, and then once that's dried, you get your sandpaper and just really sand right till it's flat and smooth surface. So I'm really happy with the way that's turned out. I thought I'd use this fun fusion colour conservatory, if I can open it, to do our first coat on here for this one today. So let me just sit down. That's better. And relax. How are we all this evening? Are we ready for a fun project? Who is crafting? Brenda, and I do get this question a lot. Do you make it food safe? I'm going to use this one as a hanging one, so I'm going to hang it up, using it as a double-sided sign. So no, I don't know about you. I like cheese boards, if I'm using them for food, just to be smooth and not have words underneath, because then that kind of defeats the purpose, because you've got food all over the top of it. So if I'm doing a cheese board, I just leave it plain. But if I'm making these into signs, I don't have to make it food grade safe. So no, I probably won't be doing that today. I'm going to use just this small Klingon brush, which is one of their short handled brushes, but you can use any brush you like. I just like these because they kind of give a nice smooth finish. Yes, charcuterie boards are amazing for upcycling into fun signs, and they're quite reasonably priced these days. You can get them from just about anywhere. Now I'm trying not to get this on the edge of this board. I'm using, and I can give you some tips on painting, which I usually try and just give tips as I go. Some of you are old hands at doing all the stenciling and things, but we often have quite new people, so welcome to any newbies here who've never stenciled before, or maybe you haven't even painted before. So notice how I'm just going off the edge. I'm not going to start on the edge, because otherwise I really don't want to get any drips. So I feather it off the edge and then start in like this. Now to get this bit here, I have to go this way, but I do like to go with the grain of the wood. So I'm going to go over that again like so. And then that way I don't get any, oh, this dries really fast. I've got the aircon on today. So hopefully we won't see any of that logo that I puttied down in the bottom corner there. And I'll do this bit up here really carefully. So I'm trying not to get any paint over the edges. You could sand it off if you accidentally did, but just let me just lay that down. So I start here and I go off the edge. Whoops, a bit too much. And I go off the edge like that, rather than starting from the edge. So I'll start just before the edge and end or finish by just dragging it gently over the edge like that. Again, with this edge bit, I'm going to have to go like this so that I can get those edge bits nicely, and then I'll go with the grain gradually that way. So there, and it takes a bit of practice if you're not used to painting things, but oops, I better not. So here's a top tip. This furniture paint, oof, well, that was silly. I grabbed the handle where I've just painted. So when you're using furniture paints, especially the ones that dry quickly, like fusion mineral paint, any sort of chalk paints, they dry very fast. So I may need 2 coats on that, but this colour really does have very good coverage. But once you start painting it on, if you feel the paint brush dragging, that means it's dried, and you don't want to keep dragging and re-going over the paint, because that's when you get lots of little ridges and bumps and not as smooth brush strokes. So I'm quite happy with that, but I think I will need to dry that off. And here I was thinking, oh, we can do the other side while we're waiting for that to dry. Well, no, I really can't, can I? Because we've got to dry that first. And I didn't bring my little plastic bag to pop that in. But if you were letting this, stand aside and dry, naturally, then you would want to put your brush in a wet cloth or a plastic bag. So let me just do this. Let me see if I can see any questions in the comments as we're going. Please feel free to leave your questions, and if I miss them during the live, I do like to go back afterwards and follow up with any questions that you have. If you do want my affiliate link for the Fusion Mineral Paint, that's what I love to use on my signs and also painting furniture. I'm a retailer for that paint over here in Australia, but when I do videos and projects for USA and Canada, I've got an affiliate link that you can use that I'd love to pass on to you if you are needing that. Let's see. Yes, Kimberly's letting everybody know that we do go live every weekday, so that's nice and nice and smoothly finished there. I actually like the coverage of that is pretty good. So I'm trying to decide whether I really want that to have another second coat. I think that's pretty good. Some colours cover really, really well. Others, you might need a few coats. So for example, if this was white, it may need a few coats, 2 or 3 coats to go over with that. But I think I'm happy with the way that has turned out just now. So we'll stick with that. So we're going to do one side, we're going to do the other side. So the stencils, I'm sure you're all wondering, what stencils is Sharon going to be using today? So I'm going to be using, I always bring some just in case because there are so many different options with this. The 2 that I do have links for in the description of the live are these ones. So we've got, let me get sorted here. We have this little mini tag set, Farm mini tags. I was still sort of deciding whether I'd use one from that, but I think I might. And then we've got this set here, which is the Farm Fresh 6-pack, and they've got some gorgeous, fun farm signs that are, the other thing I did also link and I'll be using today is the transfers. I love these. On the Farm is the name of the transfer set. And there comes with 2 different sheets. You can see I've cut one out from a project I did last time already. Let's show you the stencils in this Farm Fresh stencil pack. Let me find, here we go. We've got Come Eat Y'all. So these are great for kitchen and those type of places in your house. So this is a great, oh, Kathy's asking what's the color name for the green. That green is called Conservatory. That's it there. And I can give you the affiliate link for that. Yes, Lisa, I can do that. And this is some of the signs in this. I'm going to try and do this with my other hands unless Essential Stencil has that on hand. I've got the Fusion Mineral Paint. It's actually Fusion, oh no. I'll just send that right here in a reply to Lisa. Maybe you all can see that too. There we go. I love all their transfers too, and Brenda says I love Fusion Mineral Paint with these stencils. Yeah, they are really good. There we go. Farmers Market open daily. I think I'm going to be using that one today. Might have to use it down this way for what I was planning. We've got Milk and Cream. It's another fun kitchen type sign. Maybe I'll use that too. Farm Fresh Eggs, very cute. And you can use this for the transfers. For example, Farm Fresh Eggs, and then you add chickens. We've got the chickens, pigs, cows. It's even one of these cows, ducks, and then of course we've got tractors. Oh, there's a goat down there too. All sorts of fun farm animals there. So there's 6 in this set. Country Kitchen, and that's cute too. Love it. See, these are all perfect size, these minis, and these are 6 by 6 inch. And you can also remove this off here. You could tape that off and not use that, and then add some transfers top and bottom for Country Kitchen to make it look like you could use those transfers there. Oh, and this one, Rise and Shine. I love that too. I was thinking of using this one as well, but if I did, what you could do is use the Rise and Shine here, and then add, you could tape off this little rooster and add a real rooster. Look at this guy here. See this one down here? tiny little rooster. He's the perfect size, that he would sit perfectly right where that rooster is on the stencil. So you would just tape that off with some painter's tape, do the rest of the stencil, and have your little rooster standing on there. So many fun ideas to combine the farm sets and the stencils. The farm set transfers is what I'm talking about. Now, where's the one that I said I was going to do? Farmer's Market. I like this. And then with the mini tags, let's show you what's in these. So we've got the mini tag set here, which has 3 plus a bonus. So there's actually 4. So there's 3 farm tags, which are this one here. And that's the one I was thinking I would use today. Right here, like so. And then we've got the farm, and these work well with the wooden tags. So just search wooden and you'll find a lot of wooden products on Essential Stencil's website. If you go to their search menu, isn't that cute with the hay? And I think there's some chickens standing on the hay. And then the bonus is this gorgeous cow. And I asked last week and I forget again what kind of cow that is, with the, I call it fringe. In Australia we say fringe, bangs. All right, Rhonda said, you've been so busy you haven't checked out your new bundle after the holidays. Yes, everyone should be getting their bundles about now. Yes, yeah, Kimberly likes that idea of adding the rooster on this one with the transfer. All right, so I thought I'd use this, and then on the other side we're going to use some transfers with the milk and cream sign. So let's have a look. Thinking about colours, I like the idea of this being a silhouette, so I'll probably use black and white for this, and I'm going to move the stencil down, black probably for that, making it look like a silhouette. We could use white for the bottom and black for the animals sitting on top of each other. There is also on the transfers, but it didn't fit on this particular sign. Can you see the animals here? Cow, goat, chicken. Oops, am I in the right space? There we go. Yeah, so we've got a stack of animals there, which would also look perfectly cute on one of these size boards. I did measure the board, so that fits perfectly there, but if I did that, I couldn't add a stencil around it. Well, maybe you could, but see how there's just so many fun combinations. It's about 8.5 inches round, not including this part here. But we're going to do a double-sided board, so stay tuned for that. And again, I didn't bring my piece of cardboard or something to offload, but we do have, look, I could use one of these card stocks. Oh, I've got some sticky notes here, that'll do. I'll use a sticky note to offload my brushes. Let's use the white for this. I'm using this Victorian Laces, one of my favourite whites out of the Fusion Mineral Paint range. It's just a slightly off-white, a little bit greyish, maybe undertones. Lovely colour. I'm just going to dip my brush in there. Who's new to stenciling? We'd love to know that. Let us know here if you've never, stenciled before or tried stenciling. Here are my tips. If you're new to stenciling, we always go over the basics. You offload your brush until there's hardly anything on it. You can, if you like, tape your stencil down to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. Once you've done this a fair few times, I'm just going to make that less tacky by just rubbing it on my skin for a little bit. I'll just pop a little piece of tape up there so that it's not going to go anywhere. Now we could do a few different things with the little sign there. You could make that a different colour and tape that all off if you really wanted to. But see how I'm just now swirling, and we're not going to get that fuzzy edges or bleeding under because I've offloaded a lot of paint all onto my offloading little sticky note pad here. You can just use a piece of cardboard. I usually just recycle some cereal packet or something, but I forgot to do that. There's always something, isn't there? Forget something. Now, Essential Stencil has linked there in the pinned comment the stencil sets that I'm using today. So if you missed that, you can also just go back after the live's finished and look at the description of the live where you'll see I've listed a whole supply list. I've got the measurements of the board, I've got the paints that I've used, but if you do want an affiliate link for the Fusion paint, I can give you that too. Okay, so just doing a little swirly motion here. And again, we could do some different things with that sign down the bottom there. I'm sort of doing a bit of a basic looking stencil set today, and then we're going to do something different with the transfers on the other side. And it'll be a double-sided sign. You know how sometimes, I don't know about you, but I feel like I just need a little change it up every now and then with the decor or whatever. Well, this one you can literally just flip around the board because it'll have a, we'll put probably some jute tie on the end, maybe a ribbon, and you can just flip it over and change up the decor in your kitchen with a flick of the wrist. Okay, that's feeling like it's looking good. I feel like I had a little bit too much paint on my brush down there, but we'll see how that turned out. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you wanted to, these are called bridges, those little gaps where we need, you know, when you've got a stencil, you need that bridge with the A, or, you know, you would lose that. You need the bridges here with the E, because you can't have a little dot that you place in there, if that sort of makes sense. If you did want to finish up your bridges, Essential Stencil has these gorgeous bridging brushes, which are they have varying sizes of, I think it's a set of 5, isn't it, guys? Or maybe 6. I've got 6 out here, maybe it is 6. All varying. They're great for artist brushes too. So don't forget, you can use my code IRestoreStuff and get you 10% off those as well. I think they're in stock. Don't quote me on that. But if they're not, you can let them know you are interested in those for when they come back in stock, and they'll email you. All right, so that you can use those bridging brushes if you wanted to fill in the little bridges right here on the signs. You can go back with the little tiny brush and do all that. I think it's kind of fine without the bridges filled, depending on the look you want, depending on the font that's used and that kind of thing. All right, I'm going to pop my excuse me, white brush in a wet cloth over on the side, and then we're going to use this stencil. Now, this set was called, it's the 3-pack Farm Mini Tags, and it comes with a bonus, so it's actually a 4-pack. So the bonus is this cute little cow here, and she would look cute right there too. I call it a she. She's got flowers in her hair. I don't know. That is cute. I like that one. You could use anything for these, even the Haystack Farmers Market open daily. See, with the chicken on top, it's got 3 chickens in there, and then farm probably wouldn't work, but the cow is a great idea. We've got our 3 and then the cow, so that's your bonus there. So let's do this like a silhouette, and we make it go, oh, we could change our direction too. We could make them go this way. Let's see. Oh, no, I think the chicken's head is going to look a little bit off-centered if I did it that way. So I'm choosing our placement here. Yeah, see, the chicken at the top is going to be a little bit more centered because this board's, I don't know if you can see that, but this board, it's got sort of an odd shape to where this handle comes up, and it's sort of on the side a little bit. So that really helps me decide. So it almost looks a little bit, so that helps me decide I need the chicken's head facing this way, because otherwise the chicken would lose its head, and we don't want that, do we? That would be fun. Funny, not funny. Okay, so we've got that in place, and we can use that same tape and just tape off. I'm going to see how the cow's face is really close to the edge of our stencil, and also its tail is very close. If I do the stencil brush there, I'm afraid I might brush over onto my board, and I don't want a weird brush stroke coming out the side. So I am going to, oh, Diane says she needs a stencil of ducks. Oh, yes. Well, they've got duck transfers. Did you see the transfers, Diane? These have the cutest ducks on the transfers. A few different types of ducks. and different sizes. Okay, so we've taped that there. I think I should be right on that section, but just check all around your stencil to where you're going to, your brush is going to go, to make sure it's not going to go over the edges. All right, again, I'm using, this is the color Coal Black, which is a really nice true black. Again, these are just furniture paints that I stock here in Australia, but you can get those in the US and Canada, and you can use my affiliate link if you wanted to get those. All right, new piece of sticky paper. I've forgotten to get my offloading piece of cardboard, so I'm just having to use some sticky notes today, because that's what I had right here beside me without having to get up and go find some. I'm offloading as much as I can off on the side of the pot, and then welcome Janice, Essential Stencils, just giving you a warm welcome. I'm so glad you said something. We love it when we have new people joining us on our lives here. So if you've never stenciled before, stenciling is so much fun. Everyone here will vouch for that. Okay, so I'm using the black color to just create sort of a silhouette of animals right here. Just being careful that my brush doesn't go over the edge into the words. And I'm using a 5/8 inch brush. Won't be long and these brushes will be back in stock with Essential Stencil, so hold your horses. They're coming. I'm sure they will let you know. If you're on their email list and you have let them know that you would like to be notified when the brushes come back in stock, they will definitely send you an email, let you know that they're back and that you can order those when they come in. Okay. You could even, use this as a base and paint your own like white patches. You could paint, if you're an artist, you could paint your own little features on the cow and the pig and the rooster, or whatever we've got there. Chicken. Hen. Colleen says, can hardly wait for the brushes. I know. It is always handy to have an extra set, isn't it? Oh, I'm just doing a bit of pouncing because I can feel that I've got way too much on my brush. So just pouncing, and then I'm rubbing that off, and now I'll go over and just do that swirl so I don't have like the dots of the pouncing there. That's the way I do it anyway. But there are so many wonderful video tutorials from all of the ambassadors here on the Essential Stencil page in the video section. So if you go to the top of the Facebook page and hit the video tab, you'll see even some playlists there for different Christmas crafts and DIY ideas, upcycles, all kinds of things. Oh, this one's a bit sticky because I didn't rub it off onto my hand for a little bit. There we go. How cute is that? So you could do that a little bit differently or use it like that. Now we're going to turn it over and do the other side, but just to make sure that's dry, I'll just hit it with the hairdryer. And then let's have a look at what we can add with transfers and another fun stencil on the other side. So while I'm not using the brushes, I add, now this one, remember, is from the Farm, it just says Farm Mini Tags. And I think, and Essential Stencil will probably put the link for that in there, but it's all in the description of our live. Another set that would be great, it's another farmhouse theme, is this Grace, Gratitude and Grit. Now I won't pull them all out this week, but that's another size, the 6-pack that is a new set. So if you didn't get the bundle and you're still looking at some of the packs that there are available, it's got some beautiful, it's got Welcome to Our Coop with a little rooster on it, so you could, add that into this size of a board. Farm Charm, Grace, Gratitude and Grit, This is the Life, Say Grace and Country Blessings. So that's another set that I thought I'd mention because it fits in with this whole theme, coordinated with, some of the animals and the other mini stencils and these transfers. I think that's good enough. Yeah, that's dry enough. Just making sure that my board is nice and clean. It may not look clean, but it's dry. I love those big cows. Someone's mentioned the big cow transfers. Yes, I do have those set aside because I've got a large sign and I really want to use a cow transfer too. They're huge. They're the full size of this if you've missed them. Just look up transfers on Essential Stencils page. Okay, so on this side, so remember on this side we had started out with a blank board like this, but it had the logo, Marie Claire logo, engraved or carved into the wood down the bottom here. And you'll notice when I painted over that, because I puttied it, sanded back the putty, I have a really smooth, you can't even see that her logo was down at the bottom of my board there. So that was this side. On the other side, I'm going to leave that plain, and then at the end, I'll seal it with Fusion's matte Tough Coat Sealer. So just give it a bit of a, it sort of goes onto the wood grain and just makes it look like a really nicely finished sign. Okay, what was I thinking here? I had a couple of ideas. Milk and cream with a cow, or, oh, so many fun ideas. Farm fresh eggs with some chickens, random chickens. Come eat y'all, where is it? Or rise and shine with the little rooster here. That's another fun idea too. And you can prop the transfer of the rooster on there. If you missed that idea before, you can pop this little rooster on here instead of the stencil rooster. So you cover that over. Someone's going to pick that idea. That's a good fun one. I kind of like the idea of milk and cream, and then I'm going to pop the little cow down the bottom, I think. Let me just find a cow that might fit. This cow, it's got this feathered edge down the bottom. I like that. This one's sort of laying down, so maybe she looks like she's about to give milk and cream for the day. This one's standing up, would probably just fit, but it may look a little bit squished. We've got this girl, she's lying down. So many different options. And if you wanted to try a few, you could just cut them out. So with our transfers, we just cut out the transfer that you want to use. You could cut them all out if you want to. And some of the other transfer sets, Essential Stencil has some beautiful transfers. Sunflowers, they've got beautiful spring transfers, there's some winter ones. I'm really not sure what's left on the website, but have a look there. Just type in transfers in the search bar for Essential Stencil. Okay, I found another cow that's similar, but it's bigger. So I want to cut this one out too to see which one sort of suits and looks better. All right. Yeah, so with some of those, I've actually cut them out in sections and popped them in a little Ziploc bag so that I've got all the farm, or you know, all the different types of transfers together. Yeah, I like the bigger one. I think that she'll stand out nicely, so I'll just pop that one aside and leave that for later. I want to put my stencil down first, and then we can just see where the cow might fit. Milk and cream. Okay. Hi Gloria, that's okay if you're really late, because you can just watch the replay. And just a reminder for anyone watching the replay, after the live goes live, you've got 24 hours and you can comment the word replay, and Essential Stencil is going to be picking another prize winner. But stay tuned right now, because we're giving away 3 prizes at the end of our live on this reverse board for that person who just was coming in late then. Here's what we did on this side. Next, we're going to do a milk and cream stencil up the top. This is from the 6-pack called Farm Fresh. And I think I need to use probably black, or I could do black shadowing. I might do, maybe I'll do white shadowing and black, black on top. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of white, because it's a bit easier to go black over white rather than the other way around. Oop, where's my white thing? There we go. Okay, offloading the brush just onto a piece of paper, a piece of cardboard. I usually sort of recycle it, and that feels fairly central. I just want to have another look just to make sure our cow is going to fit nicely down the bottom, and she will. Okay, yes, let's just do a whole shadow thing here, making sure I've got, yes, the farm animals, they rub, the rub-on transfers, really nice, and they are, there's so much you can use them for. Okay, so I'm just going to do this really quickly, because this is just a shadow underneath our main stencil, which will be like a black overlay. I don't have to go and make sure it's all fully covered in, because it's just going to literally be a nice, and the white really won't stand out if I was just doing this white as a stencil on this board, because it's such a blonde wood. I like the colour of this wood actually. It's kind of got some greyish driftwoody tones in there. And if you missed the beginning, this is simply a upcycled board, cheeseboard that I found at a thrift store, or as we call them in Australia, op shop. Short for opportunity shop, I think. Australians just shorten everything, pretty much. Even people's names. Everyone has a nickname. All right, so I've just done a quick overall coverage there, and then that's going to dry super quick because it's such a quick drying paint. I'll lift that up. Now see and notice how it's really not real, too standoutish, because it's white on a very blonde wood. And then we'll go back with our black. Now to do the shadowing, just a reminder, I do this quite often, so if you've missed it today, then we can see it on other. And if I was going to do this not on a live, I probably would just wipe away all that white on here, because it can mix with the black when we use this with black and get a bit more of a greyish tone, but I don't mind that. I think that's fine. But if you really want it to be solid black, then I would clean off your stencil first. But because we're live, that's going to take time. And I'm feeling a little impatient with that kind of cleaning up. Who wants to clean up? Who wants to watch cleaning up? Not me. Okay, so we shift our stencil slightly across, slightly up. It doesn't really matter which way. And then by doing that, we're creating a little gap. I'm not sure if you can see the little gap on one side of the stencil. It's a bit hard to see on the video. And we want to grab our black brush using our coal black. Hi, Kim Marie from Western Washington State. Lovely of you to join us. Any questions about stenciling, please pop them in the comments, because a lot of people are regulars here watching our lives and experienced stencilers. So and of course I'll go through and answer any questions that are unanswered at the end of our live. So offloading again our black brush. This is the 5/8 inch, but you can really use any size with this. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so just going over that. And like I said, if I haven't cleaned this off, it's likely to be a little bit greyish. It's sort of not really taking. So let me just do that a little bit more on the brush. There we go. Gradually working your way around. It is a cute stencil. We're going to use the transfers in just a minute, so don't go anywhere. And we'll be picking some lucky winners from the comment section here at the end of our live. So if you haven't shared it already, sprinkle the love around Facebook and let people know we are live, and they can see or even watch the replay. I can tell that I'm running out when it's looking a little bit more grey, but it's better to have not much on your brush rather than too much, because if you have too much on your stencil brush, it risks going underneath the stencil and creating fuzzy edges, or what we'd call bleeding under the stencil, and we don't want that. Being careful again not to get my brush too close to this edge, because I don't want a random black brush stroke sitting on the side of my words. Who's ever made that mistake before? Oh, thank you guys so much. Sprinkling the love. Okay, there we go. So now we should see just a faint white line around the edges to create a shadow effect on that, and then we'll add our transfer, and I'll show you in a minute how we seal that all over. Let's lift this up, see how we go. All right, so now we've got sort of that 3D looking thing that sort of makes the I think it makes the letters pop a little bit more. So when you've got that shadow in behind it. So the white that you can see around one of the edges is the shadow. It works really well when you've got a really stronger contrasting background. That one's probably not as contrasting as much as some of the other ones that I've done. But you can see some of the shadowing technique videos in the playlist called Shadowing in the video section here. So here is our lovely cow. Don't forget these transfers. You can get 10% off any of the transfers. Just use my code I Restore Stuff. Don't forget to do that. But there's so many here. There's lovely farm transfers. We've got the farm truck. We've got the, and that would even go cute there too, the tractor, if you kind of jiggle things around a bit. This cute cow, all the different ones. So we've decided there's a smaller cow version of this. So what I need is my tool. This should come with your transfer sets. But you do get quite a collection after a while. I think they sell these individually now in case. Thank you, Kimberly, saying the shadowing looks really good. Yeah, it does make a difference, doesn't it? It kind of makes it stand out a bit more. So we're removing the white paper backing, and then you're left with just the plastic, and the cow is obviously, we want that at the front. This is the sticky part, so don't touch that. I'm just touching the plastic, which isn't sticky. But the sticky part is that transfer. Oh my goodness, I didn't really even realize, but it's black and white here and we've got a black and white cow. I didn't even think about that when I was choosing these colors to go together. I just need to turn this around for myself to see. It feels sort of like it's crooked, but because this handle is crooked at the top, it's got sort of like a funny crooked house feel. I think it's right if I just pop that sort of central. And there we go. So I've just laid it down. You can use your fingers to just sort of smooth it out. But now I'm using this tool, and this is raw wood. So I've sanded that. This timber cutting board is quite porous. I know that there are some cutting boards these days that have really sheen, slippery edges on them, which may be harder to paint on. So if you want to paint or stencil on boards, make sure they've got a really porous, or you've sanded back that heavy varnish that some boards are coming with these days. I know the bamboo boards and charcuterie boards, they seem like they have a lot of lacquer on them or something that makes it hard. It's all more slick, you know. Okay, so this is coming off really nicely and quite quickly. But if you do get any bits that are stuck, you just lay the plastic back down and keep rubbing with your tool there. I just love these transfers, the farm ones. I think out of all the transfer sets that we've got so far, these are the best. And I just love that it looks so realistic, like a beautiful picture, hand-painted picture or something. But look at that, isn't it gorgeous? I'll hold it straight. I feel like I'm holding it crooked. So there you go. There's the milk and cream. Here's the farmer's market. I'm just going to pop a quick... now, I don't have anything to put it on with. Oh, yes, I can use my wet cloth. Because sometimes I use a wet cloth to actually apply painter's sealer. Anyway, so I've got my wet cloth here. And then I'll add a little bit of ribbon or something on the end. I've got a couple of different ribbons. I've got this one, it's more of a navy colour though, so I do like the black and white, and the black and white ribbon would probably work with the other side as well, so I might do that. And then we've got this jute to string it up on the top. Okay, so let's set some things aside so we don't get this everywhere. If you're looking for any of the links to the sets that we've used today, you can find them in the description of the live. So here's just a damp cloth. Now it's not soaking wet, it's just barely damp. And I'm going to use Fusion's Tough Coat Sealer, which you can get at the same affiliate link that I posted earlier. If you'd like to use that. Now I've just noticed I probably do need to poke this because it's got some dried sealer in the top, so you may have to clean that out. But I'd like to just pop it in a dish. I really don't need to use a lot. Also, if you're using the matte sealer, make sure, because that matting agent will kind of settle to the bottom of the bottle, so you do need to give it a bit of a swirl like this over and over and over again to make sure you get all of the matting agent mixed all the way through. Otherwise, your sealer that you think is going to be matte might turn out a little bit glossy. So I'm going to put some sealer on this side and on the other, but before I do, I can feel that that's not quite smooth on here, and that might be fine by you, but I feel like I just need to rough it up with a little bit of sandpaper just on that paint, because the rub-on transfer is really smooth. The paint just has a bit of a raised bit, because I've you know, obviously paint as it dries, it gets a little bit of height to it. So I can feel now that that's creating a nice smooth finish. And if you wanted to, you could distress the lettering and make it even more rustic looking. But that doesn't look too rustic, and I think I'm happy with just the way that that's turned out there. See, it's not too heavy with that. All right, I've got a bit of matting agent here in this. Might need a bit more, because I probably want to do the other side as well. But don't go anywhere, because we're going to be picking out prize winners in just a minute. So I've got a damp cloth, and this is how you get a nice smooth finish when you're using a sealer. I just dip a bit with the damp cloth, and then we're going to go with the grain. So you'll be able to see this sort of the colour changing as I go along. And it leaves a nice finish to the piece. And I will do the edges as well. Let me see if I can get the light right on that. Can you see that difference? So it just gives it a nice finish to your signs and things, because this is quite a porous wood. So that'll seal in the wood. It's not food grade. It's, well, I mean, it probably is safe because it's non-toxic, but it's not guaranteed to be food safe. But I'm going to use this as a hanging sign, so it really doesn't matter. And then we just go over that like this, and I will need some more for the other side. Oh, I think I've got a bit of drip of paint here. Should have got that off before I sealed it. And this dries very quickly too, this Fusion Matte Sealer. Let me just get this side with my right hand. So there we go, we've got that nicely sealed in there, and I'll wait till this side has dried. I'm doing the edges as well. Wait till this side has dried before I go round onto the other side. And we are going to pick some winners. Did someone just ask what's a matte finish? A matte finish just means it's not glossy. It's not satin either. It's quite a porous kind of, a very, very flat finish. So that's that. I'm going to add a bit more in there later and do the other side. Oh, I was going to put my string on. I think that's a little bit long. So let's cut this down. Some jute twine. Let's finish this off before we get our prize winners. Oh, hopefully this will work. I just tie a knot in the end of the string. I'm going to cut this off. Oh, what did I do? I think I've got that right. There we go. And tie that there. Cut the ends off. Now I've got a piece of string here that I can loop through my board. Although I might have to take this off again in a minute to actually do the... that way it's not all tied in that I can't easily remove it. I can easily remove this. But that puts well, sort of the knot, that puts the loop in the center of the top. So then when you hang this, it will easily be flipped around to just work on that other side there. So it's easily double-sided then. And then we could do something with the ribbon and create a bow, a cute little bow that could go in the top. And I didn't bring my glue gun out and get that all ready, but you'll get the idea if I can just make this bow. Who's an expert at bows here? I don't know if I'm really great at these, but we'll give it a go. Jane says I'm going to need another farm transfer. I know, right? Aren't they just gorgeous? There's just so many options you can do that. And for those of you who do market stalls and things like that and do a lot of sign making, just so many options there for those. So there we go. We've got a little bow that we can add to the top And with the bow, you could add that to one side and then add one to the other side as well. We could just pop that on the top, make a cute little farmhouse sign on there. So there we go. Let me just pop you up here so I can see your faces. Don't forget that you can follow my blog, which is irestorestuff.com, and use your code irestorestuff on essentialstencil.com, and you can follow me at irestorestuff on any of the social media platforms. So let's have a look at what this bow looks like on the other side as well. So if we can get that to point downwards, it would look cute at the top of that as well. So we can use a hot glue gun or even add it to the bottom. We could add that to the bottom. It's totally up to you where you want to put that. So let's have a look, see if I can see our winners here on our live. Thank you guys so much for your comments and for your love. And there we go. I can't see it on congratulations winners. I have to just pop and have a look at it here. So we've got Laurie, Ellen and Janet. Please email support@essentialstencil.com. Let them know that you are a winner on Sharon's live today. And I've really enjoyed being with you. I love going through and reading the comments that I don't so much get to while we're doing the live. And I love the little community that we have here. It's quite huge actually, isn't it? So thank you guys for all sharing the love and sharing out our posts. And if you're in the Stencil of the Month Club, I will see you in their Facebook group, and I'll share this a little bit later, some photos of it and how you might want to display it in your kitchen. So thanks guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next week for another fun live DIY. Bye.